In Neuroshima Hex, some say the Borgo or blue faction are overpowered. We're going to test that theory here on Legendary Tactics. Welcome back to Legendary Tactics. Today we're going to play the Borgo faction, the blue faction, against some hard AIs, and just to illustrate the the strength of of this faction. Their ability is obviously it's anyone that's next to the base gets +1 in initiative, and that can be extremely handy. Usually you're getting in the first shot, which is great. So, in the case like this, that 3 initiative is going to be tough to overcome. And that means you usually are going to get, your to go first with all your attacks, which is huge. Now, the Borgo generally tends to be more melee based, which can be potentially a problem. But it's one of those things where if you can get into a decent position, do some damage on the other units first, then you're going to be in a great spot. You know what? I'm going to really focus on the Moloch right now because the other factions, I mean, they're pretty close. They're probably going to battle it out, and I just need the Moloch to be killed before the shields get up and he gets all turtled up and and everything is his shields are getting down there, so I just don't want his shields to be in place. Okay, I think this is actually going to be pretty good. We can control a lot of the board here and do a bunch of damage, so we'll see how this goes. I don't have a lot of units on the board, but again, with the high initiative, they're going to get their attacks done first generally, and that's really, really helpful. Now I'm going to take a hit there because of Green's special ability, but I'm going to take him out and hit back for this very similar damage. So yeah, it's going to be, well, it was pretty much a clean slate now. And the Moloch, in the end, only took 1 hit, which is not good. We need to do some hurting on Yellow's side as well. So he's going after Green and myself. So that does leave a bit of a gap, which is right here. I'm going to lock down the Moloch, and I'm going to see if I can... This is going to be interesting. I want to basically get set up for some long-range shooting here at a very high initiative. So I found a bit of a safe spot tucked away in there, and I dodged the sniper's bullet. So... But yeah, Yellow's really locking things down, so this is going to be tricky. And he is going to be pushed. So that is unfortunate. And the battle is going to begin, and that puts my net in the wrong spot. I did not want to be in that. So it's very well played by the Moloch to get me out of there. So we'll see how this battle ends up. I'm going to basically have my units wiped out again, except for 1. But I've done some damage, and Moloch is wide open again, which is not a position they generally want to be in. So if I postpone the battle a little bit here, I can give my friendly units a bit more of a boost when it comes to their melee. And hopefully I can just fly under the radar a little bit. Again, Yellow's the main threat here. The Outpost has gone after him, but to no avail. And the Moloch, who's scrambling to probably lock down right now, is not in amazing shape. So I need to make sure that I am getting basically all the boosting that I can, and in a safe spot here. That's not ideal, but I'm going to hit the Moloch and basically make him the underdog here, and then I can give more of a full effort to yellow. The good news is that the Outpost, the greens are already, they're fighting yellows already, so there's a big kind of civil war going on between the two of them, which is fine. Means that I can just focus on, getting the Moloch out of the way, and that takes him down a peg. But I'm going to potentially suffer here a bit. Going to lose some more units. And so it's me and yellow at the top at the moment. It could go either way, and it's going to be a bit tricky to figure out what the best move is. I guess we're gonna. I don't want to get in that unit's way, but the net really makes a huge mess. That net can be so distracting sometimes. I think there's really not any great moves here at the moment. But I'm going to do something like this and just kind of clog up the map a little bit, protect my units a little bit, and try and get at yellow. Oh, and he is being very, very savvy with his maneuvers there. There's just I don't know. I'm protected, fairly well protected here. I'm going to take a bit of a hit here, but man, it's going to be a real challenge to get through those defenses to yellow there. But luckily, green, the outposts there have really got a good setup for their long-range stuff. I'm actually going to leave those units in place, I think, because those units might actually be the key to my victory. I'm going to just try and stay mobile with and stay safe with as many units as I can. We've got a good, long-range unit here, but I'd really like to have that unit stay alive, but there's really nowhere safe. So right now, if that's the case, and yellow being my biggest threat, I'm going to see maybe the outpost will trigger a battle here, and we can no, nothing much. Going to bump me out of the way. Luckily, that's a mobile unit, so I can just head back to where I was, or so I thought, but I ran out of time. And kind of hoping the red decides to blow the bomb here. The Moloch decides to blow the bomb. I don't know if he will. No, doesn't look like it. So I'm holding on to a very narrow lead here. Again, the Borgo has some great units overall. They're pretty strong. They're pretty flexible. There's a lot of really nice things that they can do. Like something like, again, this unit here, that net unit, is the best in the game. I think it's in how effective it can be at just, especially when you get in there, we're in a safe spot right next to an HQ. Oh my gosh, you can do so much damage. Just wiping him out right here. There's no chance. And he's just coming up to bash me with his HQ, apparently. So we'll see how this goes. I haven't had a chance to really readjust my position, but I've got a decent lead. I just need to plug up that hole, preferably with a unit that is going to. You know what? This is it's a bit tough. I'm going to just put this unit here where I can boost my initiative, and I'm going to just move him there just to get that unit out of the way. There's really not much that can happen here other than him killing one of my units. I don't know if that was a bad move, actually, launching that attack. It might have been better just to keep that spot sealed. And luckily, old grudges have come back to roost, and that net actually went on the green base instead, in the outpost base instead of the yellow base. So this, I think, I just am going to see if I can get rid of all those nets. I don't like those nets. I find them to be so powerful, and I'm going to give my unit there some covering fire in case one of the other units tries to basically reinforce that area. But anyway, got rid of that net, and we're going to hammer him this turn. This is going to be good. Going to hammer both of them, and my defenses are still up. I will take a couple hits here, but there's not really a lot on the board for the other players. It's not like they've built up a defense. It's not like they've built up a force that they can do offense either. So I've got my base basically locked down, and we're in good shape that way. I just need to build up my defenses here, and I think I'm in good shape for the win at this stage. So yeah, as I said, the Borgo have some really great units. I love the 3 initiative long range guy. That guy right there, I think he's great if you can get him in a good spot and you keep him alive. They do have some tough units with a bit of staying power, and that net, if you can get to a safe spot tucked away right next to an HQ, man, that can be literally game defining right there. So anyway, we were able to pull off a fairly easy victory. Hope you got some ideas there, and thanks so much for watching. This has been Legendary Tactics, and please like and subscribe.